Welcome to Mission Complete Cycle. The company now known as Atari recently released the new Atari VCS. And while the machine itself is kind of unremarkable and not that good, it's the main cool bit about it is its look, which looks a lot like the original Atari 2600, and honestly, its main selling factor is nostalgia. But that's a video for another day. Today, we're going to be looking at the Atari VCS controllers. The main modern one is the Atari VCS wireless modern controller. Honestly, this is just a cheaper Xbox controller, having the same layout, the same size, and the same shape. And the only real big difference is the red highlights of the joystick and the trigger button, which is a reference to the original fire button on the original joystick. Talking about the joystick, now let's get on to the really cool controller. Probably the coolest controller for the Atari VCS is the wireless classic joystick. The new joystick is meant to look a lot like the original controller for the Atari 2600, which was a joystick, just with a much more sleek and modern look. But did they succeed? Well, I happen to have an original Atari 2600 joystick here, and as you see, they look very similar, and I actually think that they did succeed. If you look at the two controllers, the new one has the same fire button as the old one, there's the same joystick and the circle around it, but the new one is wireless, unlike the old one. And another really cool thing about the new one is the added button in the corner, which is to make it more compatible with some newer games. It also has an Atari button to start it, because, as I said, it has no cable, and it has a back and options button to become more compatible with the new Atari VCS. If you look at the original controller, there's a ring of dashes around the joystick, and in some versions of the joystick, the dashes were orange or white. Well, if you switch on the new controller and look at it, when you move the joystick, orange dashes appear around where you're facing it. And if you press the fire button, the big round button, it flashes twice in orange. But sadly, pressing the trigger around at the bottom does nothing. I really like the lights around the joystick, and I think it's actually one of the coolest things about the joystick, because it gets the colours while still seeming much more modern, and I think the joystick does that very well. The original Atari 2600 also had paddle controllers, which would spin to move your paddle in games like Pong or Breakout. Well, the new controller has the spinning built in to the joystick, which you can literally spin the actual stick, and it works very well for games like Pong and Breakout, and works much better than the normal modern controller. So, like I said, we'll talk about the Atari VCS more in another video. This was more to show you about the controllers, and especially the joystick, which I find really cool. Sadly, you have to buy them separately to the console. Thank you for watching Mission Complete Cycle. If you enjoyed the video, please press the like button and maybe consider subscribing. Thank you for watching. Bye!